Hickson in the bleachers, who's always supported us. And you know what I'm saying? It's all CTV family here. So we pick up all the other shows, all the other sports shows. Shout out to Action Videos. I'm getting a lot of feedback. I wonder where that's coming from. I'm getting a lot of feedback, but we're going to try to work through it. Shout out to Jamie Hickson in the bleachers. We've got Dan the Man on the line. What's going on, Dan the Man?
Hey, what's up?
What's the deal? We're going to first start with some sad news. Ray Williams, according to ESPN.com, ex-Knicks guard Ray Williams dies. The former New York Knicks guard, who averaged 15.5 points and 5.8 assists in 10 seasons in the NBA, died Friday. He was 58. The Knicks confirmed Williams' death, but did not provide a cause. Coach Mike Woodson said he spoke to Williams' wife and brother to offer his condolences. It's a major loss. He's part of our Knicks family. Woodson, who said in Toronto before the Knicks' victory over the Raptors, "Our organization has been fantastic through this. I tip my hat to the Knicks and the fact that they stood in Rick's corner. He'll be missed. Ain't no doubt about it. He was well liked in the community." No doubt. Dan, you have any thoughts about Ray Williams?
Yeah, he was the guard that the reason why they traded Walt Frazier was because of Ray Williams. He was supposed to be the guy to take over the reins from Walt Frazier. He was the number 10th pick in the draft back in 1977. And that's one of the reasons why the Knicks had traded Walt Frazier. And the thing with Ray Williams, he was a very good guard. I mean, I remember him always among the league leaders in steals. I believe he was captain of the Knicks at one time. He had a couple seasons where he averaged 20 points a game for the Knicks. He even played for the New Jersey Nets on 2 occasions, and even retired as a New Jersey Net. So he was a very good player. He was like very quick, but he was really turnover prone that I remember. I remember one year, I think he almost set an NBA record for turnovers in one year. One year he led the league in turnovers. He had over 335 turnovers in one year. Averaged over 4 turnovers a game. But because sometimes he's erratic, but he was a clutch shooter and everything like that. But he will be missed, and he's part of the whole Knicks Nets, but primarily Knicks because he was drafted as supposed to be a franchise player back in 1977.
And a lot of people talk about his history. I mean, there was some reports a couple of years ago that he was homeless. And a lot of people were up in arms because he had somebody who was a major figure for the Knicks heard sleeping in his car in Florida. So that made the news even more sad. I think the Knicks did reach out to him and did give him money and stuff like that a couple of years ago. But it was sad at first to hear that he was homeless and sleeping in his car in Florida. And but the Knicks did reach, once they found out of his situation. They were able to give him money, and I think he relocated to Connecticut. The last I had heard, but I didn't know he was sick. So yeah, moving right along. In talking about the Knicks, rest in peace to and our condolences from Hardcore Sports go out to his family and everything. In talking about the Knicks clinched a playoff spot in their win last night against the Toronto Raptors. But I want to really touch on all the talk about the Knicks having won a championship. The Knicks haven't won a championship in 40 years. That's like the biggest talk. Whenever anybody wants to get into a discussion with a Knicks fan, They haven't won a championship. They throw it up in your face. Oh, the Knicks are sorry. They haven't won a championship in 40 years. Well, there's a lot of teams that haven't won a championship. In the NBA, there are a lot of teams who haven't won a championship in 40 years or close to 40 years. And we could go down the line. The Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz have not won a championship in near close to any memory. I know they went to the finals twice against the Bulls, but they haven't won a championship in close to 40 years or over 40 years. The Milwaukee Bucks, they won a championship over 40 years ago. They're in the same category with the Knicks. The 76ers went to the finals in the 90s with Allen Iverson, but they didn't win haven't won a championship since 1983. The LA Clippers never been to a championship. The Toronto Raptors have never been to a final. Maybe got out I don't remember even being in were the Raptors ever in an Eastern Conference final?
That I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Raptors even been to the Eastern Conference. So there's a lot of teams, folks. Stop saying that. Stop saying that because you sound stupid, especially these people on who are announcing on these radio stations. That's the first thing they want to bring up. Oh, the Knicks haven't won a championship in 40 years. Listen, these guys, especially on the radio, they just jump on the top team and all of a sudden they become a Miami Heat fan. You notice how they switch. They were big Kobe fans. When Kobe was winning, they were the biggest Kobe fans. Kobe this, Kobe that. Now that the Lakers have fallen off a bit, LeBron lovers now. LeBron can't do any wrong. LeBron this, LeBron that. LeBron the other. They're all of a sudden Heat fans. Oh, the big three. This, that, and the third. LeBron is the king. But they want to tell you. They want to put the Knicks fans down. And I didn't even get to the Melo story yet. I didn't even get to Carmelo Anthony yet. But when you want to try to lump the Knicks, when you want to try to say the Knicks haven't won a championship in 40 years, you better add a lot of people to that list. You better add a lot of people to that list because I'm gonna tell you right now, even the Indiana Pacers haven't won a championship. I don't know they've ever won a championship. Did the Indiana Pacers win a championship in the ABA? Because they sure haven't won a championship in the NBA. And they're the first one to tell you, Donnie Walsh was this and that. And Larry Bird did X amount of stuff for the Indiana Pacers as the GM. Larry Bird was the GM for the Indiana Pacers, and he did this, that, and the third. Oh, and Donnie Walsh did this, that, and the third for the Indiana Pacers. But they don't want to tell you. Indiana Pacers haven't won a championship under those two. The Indiana Pacers didn't win a championship under Donnie Walsh or Larry Bird. But they want to put Isaiah Thomas down. They want to put Isaiah Thomas down and say, oh, Isaiah Thomas came here and this, that, and the third. He didn't win a championship. But Donnie Walsh didn't win a championship with all the players he had at one time. They never won a championship. They went to the finals in 99, 2000, the Pacers. But the Pacers haven't even smelled a final in 10 years, much less win a championship. So we can go down the line. The Cleveland Cavaliers had LeBron. They went to the finals. Once. They never won a championship. So listen, how many teams have you added? I must have mentioned 10 teams right now that haven't even, and I haven't talked about all of them. I must have mentioned 10 teams right now who haven't won a championship in 40 years. So stop saying that. Because you could put the Knicks with a bunch of other teams. Let's look at our crosstown rivals. The Brooklyn Nets. They haven't won a championship since they were the ABA. The Nets have been in the NBA for 30 years or more. And they haven't won a championship. They went to the finals with Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin, who are New York Knicks now. And I think Kerry Kittles was on that team, and Vince Carter.
No, Vince wasn't on that team.
Vince wasn't on that team?
No.
So you had the Nets that went to the finals in 2001, 2002, and 2002 and 2000. 2001, 2002, 2002, 2003. They lost in the finals to the Lakers and Spurs. But they didn't win a championship in 40 years. It's been 40 plus. It's been 40 years since the Nets won an ABA championship. Close to it. It's been almost 40 years since the Nets won a championship in the ABA. So listen, don't talk your junk about the Knicks. People want to get up here and talk all this stuff and act like they live in Miami and stuff, and act like they live in Chicago and all that stuff, and talk about like it's very easy to win a championship in any league. They talk about like winning a championship is like eating ice cream or something. Like a championship is so easy. It's only the chosen few who win a championship. It's one team out of 30 every year. You have at least a one, you have even worse a chance, but you have a 1 out of 30 shot of winning. There's only one team out of 30 that wins every year. So it's not easy. There are a lot of teams who haven't won a championship in 40 years, including the Nets and Knicks. So stop saying that. If the Bulls win 6 championships, who else is winning the champ? Listen, the Bulls won 6, the Spurs won 4 in most recent memory. The Bulls won 6, the Spurs won 4, the Lakers won 4. That's 14 champions. Who else is it? The Pistons won 2. Well, actually, the Pistons won 1 how many did they win with Rasheed in them? 1?
1.
And then they won 2 with Isaiah in them. So the Pistons won 3 in most recent memory, within the last 20 years or so. Last 25 years, the Pistons. But don't talk about winning a championship. I'm tired of hearing it. No, I'm talking about winning a championship like it's easy. It's not. Which leads me to Melo. Melo is unappreciated in this town. And the same knock goes for Melo too. Y'all talk about Melo like he's a dog. He's the best player. He's the best basketball player in New York City right now. There's nobody he's the best player on the Knicks. He's better than any player on the Nets. He's the best player in New York City, hands down. You have to give Melo his respect. He's the best player in New York City, hands down. Give him his respect. And a lot of people talk about that nonsense, talk about Melo this, Melo that, Melo's this, Melo's that, he's the best player in New York City. Until you're able to find a better player to come play for the Knicks or Nets, stop your nonsense. Stop the nonsense about Melo. Melo is hands down numero uno. He put up 37 last night. I don't know of anybody else who could put up 40. He put up 41 against LeBron in the playoffs to win a game against LeBron in the playoffs. Hands down, he's like the number 3 best scorer in the league right now. There's nobody who else comes close. Melo is the only player up there with LeBron and Durant in scoring. And folks have so much to say about him. Maybe if the Knicks got a better team around him, maybe he could win a championship. If the Knicks could play some defense and get healthy, maybe they could win a championship. But it's absurd. It's absurd. The Knicks don't need Melo. Who you gonna get? Don't tell me you're gonna get Jeremy Lin to come in here and win a You're gonna trade Melo for Jeremy Lin and think you're gonna win a championship with if you had Jeremy Lin and without Melo, the Knicks wouldn't even make the playoff with Jeremy Lin at the point guard. So get it out your mind. You've lost your mind if you thought that Jeremy Lin and Landry Fields were going to take you to the folks last year. I was absolutely listening to sports radio, and an announcer said that the Knicks need to get rid of Melo and keep Jeremy Lin and Landry Fields. It's supposed to be a sports person who has knowledge of sports to come out and say that nonsense. And I'm willing to debate anybody. Melo is the number one player in this town. Hands down, nobody comes close. No one comes close. Melo's the only player to start on our All-Star team this year from this town. And y'all talk about him like he's a dog. Who else? Who else from this city is the starting small forward or the starting forward for the All-Star team? What other player besides Chandler and Melo went to represent and win a gold in the Olympics last year with LeBron and Wade? Are you serious?
Darren Williams.
Oh yeah, you're right. Darren Williams is on that team. On the Olympic team. Yeah, exactly right. But All-Star? Starting All-Star? In the top 3 in scoring? When you go to look at the top scorers in this league, the top scorers are Durant, Melo, and LeBron.
And Kobe. Don't forget him.
And Kobe Bryant. Actually, LeBron went down a little bit because he's got to distribute. He's a distributor, always been a distributor, but his numbers have come down. But Kobe's number one in scoring. And then Melo, and then Durant. Who's up there with those 3? No one comes close. Remember what you have. Remember who you're talking about. Take a minute to read some information, to go to these websites, because there's plenty of them. Stop with the ignorance already. Stop with the ignorant statements already. Stop it already with the ignorant statement. Remember, Melo is not a LeBron. LeBron is something special. LeBron is a distributor and a scorer. Melo is basically a scorer. That's what he does. So don't expect Melo to be LeBron. He's not going to ever be LeBron because LeBron is LeBron. Kobe is Kobe. Kobe would never be a LeBron. LeBron would never be a Kobe. Kobe is something special. Kobe put up 81 points. Kobe put up 81 points in one game. LeBron hasn't come close to those numbers. LeBron has not come close to those numbers. Kobe has done something very special in his career. He put up 81 in a game. LeBron hasn't been able to. As much as folk talk about LeBron this and LeBron that and this, that, and the third about LeBron, LeBron has not come close. Kobe went a streak of putting up 50-plus games and games with 40-plus. 40-plus and 50-plus. Kobe had a streak of games where he scored 40 and 50-plus. LeBron hasn't done that. So stop making these comparisons. I mean, you sound like idiots. These players are individual players that do their thing. Everybody's great in their own right. Stop comparing Melo to LeBron. Melo's not LeBron. Melo is Melo. Melo is Melo. Melo is a scorer, and that's it. And he could score with anybody. And he could score from the three-point line, and he could take you to the hole with it. And he's got an inside game. He could score from anywhere on the court. That's Melo. He's one of the best scorers in the game. LeBron is LeBron. LeBron distributes. He's an excellent distributor. He averages 8 assists a game. He gets everybody involved, and he scores. But he's not a prolific scorer like Kobe or Melo or Durant. He's just not. There's no diss to LeBron, but stop it already. You got to stop it. He's not a dog. He's not LeBron, but he's not a dog. And the Knicks are on top of their game. They fell off a little bit, but they're on top of their game. They had a bunch of injuries, but the Knicks are still one of the top seeds going in. And I'm willing to debate anybody because I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing it. And you all, folks who are listening to my voice right now, you need to call these radio stations and call them out. Every time they tell you, they want to throw it in your face. They want to throw it in your face. The Knicks haven't won a championship in 40 years. Remind them, there's 20 other teams that haven't won a championship in 40 years. Remind them, there's 40 other teams, there's 20 other teams that haven't won a championship along with the Knicks. Make sure that they put that in their statement too. When they say the Knicks haven't won a championship, make them repeat that there are other teams out there who haven't won a championship, including the Nets. The Nets haven't won a championship since they were in the ABA. So they need to stop it. Like the Knicks are dogs. The Knicks at least smell the Knicks need to at least smell the 2 finals in the 90s. The Knicks smelled 2 finals in the 90s. And they were in the playoffs. The Knicks made the playoffs. The Knicks made the playoffs. Every year Ewing was here, so the Knicks smelled the final and smelled the playoff for 15 years with Ewing, and smelled the finals twice in the 90s. There's a lot of teams that can't even say that. There's a lot of teams that can't say they went to the playoffs 15 years in a row. Not many teams could tell you they went to the playoffs 15 years in a row, but they went to the playoffs 15 years in a row under Ewing. And smelled 2 finals and came within minutes of winning a championship in '94 against Hakeem Olajuwon. A lot of teams can't say that. So stand up for your team. Stand up for the Knicks, because I'm standing up for the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan through thin and thin. I'm standing up for my team, and I want everybody, all you Knicks fans, to stand up. It's time for us to stand up. Regardless if the Knicks make the finals this year, win a final, or get eliminated in the first round, I'm a Knicks through thin and thin. That's it. I'm a Knicks fan through thin and thin. Win or lose, I'm a Knicks fan. If they win a championship, it's all gravy. Because you know what? It's difficult to win a championship. It's not like eating ice cream. It's not like going and buying a slice of pizza. Winning a championship is difficult in any league. NHL, Major League Baseball, NFL, Super Bowl. It's difficult to win a championship. Dan, you got anything to say about this? I know I rambled on this time.
No, I don't have anything to say, but, looking at it, it's like, when will the Knicks turn a corner, man? Because they really, if you look at the Knicks, even though they haven't won a championship in 40 years, they only won 1 playoff game in the last 10 years. So you have to really understand, reason why the sports talk show people and other people talk about the Knicks. This is a major city, and you have to at least go for it. And the thing is, the Knicks haven't really been went for it. So right now, the Knicks are doing good, but like I said, we'll see in the playoffs.
Yeah, we have a few minutes. Any thoughts about the Nets? We were talking earlier. There's a chance that the Nets could win the division.
Yeah, because the way things are, the Nets, they clinch a playoff spot. They have home court advantage in the first round. It's up in the air if, because sometimes the Nets could stumble, but it's up in the air if they will take the division or not. But the Nets have such an easy schedule. I don't see why not.
Yeah, the Nets have an easy schedule than the Knicks. In these last games, right? We're almost to the end now. There's 3 more weeks before it's over. It's 3 more weeks before the season is over, and the Nets, looking at their schedule, the Nets have an easy schedule down the stretch. I have an easier schedule than the Knicks. The Nets have an easy schedule than the Knicks, and the Nets could actually be the 3 seed, and the Knicks could be the 4 seed. But I would not be disappointed. I would not be disappointed if the Nets won the division and the Knicks become the 4 seed, because if the season were to end today, the Knicks would play Atlanta, and I think the Knicks want to play Atlanta in the first round of the playoffs. The Knicks want to play Atlanta in the first round of the playoffs. So I think that would be good for them, because if they play the Bulls or Boston, those teams will bloody them up for the next round. So we'll see as far as the Knicks goes. We have a few more minutes left. I think we have 2 minutes left, because this clock is saying 72:50. Any new words? You have anything as far as the horse racing goes? You were saying the Florida Derby's coming up next Saturday?
Yeah, next Saturday, the Florida Derby.
And the big horse is Verrazano?
No, it's going to be a horse. It's My Lucky Day. It's like the premier horse in that race.
It's My Lucky Day?
Yep.
What happened? Verrazano fell off?
No, Verrazano, he's coming out of the Tampa Bay Derby. He's going to race at Aqueduct in the Wood Memorial. That's what's going to happen.
And the Wood Memorial, that's next month sometime?
Yeah, that's like around the 13th, I think, of April. That's
the last prep race before the Derby, the Wood Memorial?
No, this other prep races, but that'll be the last prep for Verrazano, who's currently the favorite for the Derby, because his races have been very, very impressive.
Yeah, it's true. That one of the races that you showed me, he won, and the announcer said he won by the length of the Verrazano. It's true. It looked like he won by 40 lengths or something like that. The horse was winning by the length of the Verrazano. So It's My Lucky Day is another top horse?
Yeah, he's another top horse. He's going to race in the Florida Derby. There's other top horses, but those are the 2 main big horses.
And who are their trainers and owners, those 2?
Well, Todd Pletcher trains Verrazano. He's like, one of the top trainers. And I keep forgetting who trains It's My Lucky Day. But Bob Baffert got a...
Hey! We're the cast of Les Mis at Susan Wagner High School. We're about to go through our first run-through here, so...
Hopefully it all works out. You know what? Come on in and check it out.
Why don't you guys come backstage, huh? Sarah Krasuski, and I've been performing at Susan Wagner High School now for about 4 years. I started off as a chorus member in Fiddler on the Roof of 2008, I believe, and I wanted to be in the chorus, but I wound up getting a lead as Huddle, and as the years went by, I've continued to audition for lead parts, and throughout the 4 years of high school, I have become a lead in every single show. And this year, I actually auditioned for Cosette in the production of Les Miserables, but instead, I got the part as Eponine, and I absolutely adore it now, and it's really a dream come true because I know in the future I'll never be able to actually do this production in the real world because it won't be on Broadway when I get older, and we'll actually have the opportunity to be in this play.
Hi, I'm Vladar McAlaren, and I'm playing Javert in Les Miserables. I started acting my first year in Wagner. I played Duty in Greece. Never thought I could pull it off, but I did with the help of Mr. Ega, Mr. Korn, and everybody else. Then I stepped into a larger role, which required a lot of more acting, Julia Marsh in 42nd Street, and that was a lot of fun, I guess. I started acting when I was a very little boy, and I always had this dream of making it big one day. Hopefully that's what will happen soon. Crossed my fingers. And it's really